Hey, good morning and happy Sunday, fam. Hope everyone has had a great weekend here so far. Gonna go ahead and just dive into here, see what this week has in store for us. Definitely been some wild price action here lately. But as always here, gonna start with the economic calendar. So as always, you can always come over here to marketwatch.com, hit here economy, US economic calendar right here, and we can see what big events we have coming up that could shake up the market this week. So we got here a little bit of economic data dropping early on Wednesday, but ooh, big one right here. We're going to get an interest rate decision here from Powell on Wednesday. So definitely looking to this here on Wednesday. Going to be probably our biggest event here of the week. And then we got our usual jobless claims and non-farm payroll here on Friday. So yeah, definitely going to be keeping a very close eye here on this interest rate drop here on Wednesday, on the data drop. And then we have Powell to come talk on it after, shake it up a little bit more here towards the end of the session. So definitely going to be an interesting week here. Won't be surprised if we again see a ton of rotation here early on. But let's also check out some earnings here. So I just come over here to X, jump over to Earnings Whispers. They got a website too, but they just kind of feed it to us here, nice and easy. And we can see what we got coming up here. Haven't looked into this myself, so we're gonna take a quick look at this, see what we got coming up. Pinterest here, just some ad-based revenue, kind of social media, always kind of important to see how those ad-based revenue names are doing. Caterpillar, a big one here for YM especially. AMD after the close on Tuesday. Okay, I know a lot of us will be looking to that here on Tuesday. And then again, Wednesday we have Powell in the afternoon, right? Towards the end of the session. We got a lot of healthcare here reporting. Nothing we pay too much attention to. Airbnb, if anyone still trades that. Qualcomm, some chips here, very important. Roku, see if how Roku is doing here. And PayPal as well, a pretty decent one here after the close on Wednesday. So we definitely got a lot of stuff here coming up this week just through Wednesday, and then we got Apple here Thursday after the close. Definitely a big one here for Thursday. So we definitely have a packed week here. Shopify before the open on Thursday. So yeah, definitely a loaded week here. So won't be surprised to see a lot of manipulation this week, right? A lot of chop, probably a lot of rotation here early in our sessions like we've been seeing. And depending how that interest rate goes and that Apple earnings, right? We could get some real strong direction here late into the week. Maybe have us a nice run on Friday. Not sure which direction though. But alright, let's dive on into this. Start with ES here. ES down to a weekly squeeze bottom here at about 4,200. Definitely a level we've been trying to hang on to, but definitely cracking below here late into the week here last week. Got some smaller time frame squeezes here as well. A 2-hour squeeze, 1 hour, probably a 30-minute deep in here. So we got a couple lower time frame squeezes to try and hang on to. But definitely down to some tough levels here. Let me throw my spaghetti at it. I know this little zone here between pretty much 4130 and 4140 has been a really tough zone for us in the past. Won't be surprised to see if we get some good chop here, or possibly even base early in the week, right? The market's really going to set up here for that interest rate data drop on Wednesday and for Apple earnings on Thursday. So I really won't be surprised to see if we kind of just continue to hang on to a range here near this 4200, right? Maybe bottoming here at this 4132 or so. Just some big levels in the past, right? Obviously no idea where we go from here, but I do know that we've had a lot of chop here in the past, a lot of returning to this tight little zone here when we've been down here before. So we'll see how we do here. But just looking around, getting down here near this weekly Ichimoku cloud, y'all know that we really love to focus on these Ichimoku clouds here. They give us future levels to play off, right? And just like our Beast tool here, we love to have studies that give us future levels to play off of. Still fading away from this daily, so yeah, going to be keeping an eye here on this weekly Ichimoku cloud. It's going to be a little bit more in play as we get down near 4,000, and obviously with the downside we've had, right, could be kind of soon that we see 4,000 if we don't end up holding here near this zone. And so again, you know, here in the Keltners, we're down to this third Keltner channel to the bottom right here. You know, we were writing it down for a while, looking for that pop, looking for that recovery. We finally got it, right? And we talked about we were going to have quite a few days of a recovery, especially if we could get back above the mean. But definitely had some chop here at this daily mean, right? This thick white line here in the middle. And ultimately ended up fading here below that daily mean and coming again back down to this third Keltner channel to the downside, right? So again, here just playing probabilities, right? Always looking for a bounce back out of this level, because of course when we're down here, typically kind of hard to crack under, and we're going to get that bounce here at some point, right? Bounce out of here eventually. But again, timing is everything for us, especially as we trade options. So when does it happen, right? Do we get another run like this and just slowly grind down this channel for a while? Very possible, especially as we approach here a key psychological level of 4,000. So let's see, I know I'm sure many of us have quite a few more significant levels here between our current price action and 4,000. So let's see what we end up holding here. Again, looking to this weekly Ichimoku cloud here as well to see what we hang on to and maybe where we get a bounce. And to the upside, right, got a ton of targets here to the upside. Just need to see if we can get some upside, right? Looking to get back above here, reclaim this weekly squeeze, and we've got all of our major moving averages above, right? Just looking to get back above this key psychological level of 4,200, come up and hit this daily 8 and just start working our way up from there, right? Ultimately, of course, we're looking for a move back up to this daily mean, right? The daily 21 exponential moving average. But alright, moving on to NQ, right? Looking for a similar setup here, of course. NQ here down to this weekly squeeze bottom as well, but we've also got this daily 200 tucked in here. This solid blue stair-stepping line. So now we're here pretty much 3 days, right? 2 full days arrived here on Wednesday, and we're getting some good support here at this daily 200. So again, going to keep it easy, right? Y'all hear me say it all the time. Just looking for a good level to put on some risk, right? So here on NQ, just looking for a move away from this daily 200, right? We can play above, we can play below, right? And it'll be a similar move to all of our tech names, because of course we expect all these names and these indices to move in tandem. We've also got some smaller or some lower time frame squeezes here, a 2 hour, probably a 1 hour, and a 30-minute in here as well, just like ES. So again, overall, looking to find some support here, right? Looking for a spot for the market to bounce, also down into this third Kellner channel to the downside, right? Again, we could see some continuous days here to the downside, but right now we are currently at a good level for a bounce. So just staying hyper aware of that we could see a nice bounce here early into the week, right? Again, we have Powell and this interest rate decision on Wednesday, and then Apple earnings on Thursday. We could just see some more chop around here, maybe in a bigger range, but just a hold here until we get that economic data drop here on Wednesday. And we're going to get that in the session too. So we're going to get a reaction here while all players are able to play, including us, right? So we're going to see some manipulation at that point, right? We're going to see some head fakes, just like any typical FOMC in the middle of the session, right? And probably leading up until that point, we're also going to get a lot of manipulation, right? A lot of rotation like we've been seeing at the opens of pretty much every session. So we just got to be patient, right? And just look for good levels to put on risk, right? I say it all the time. Just looking for a horizontal level, horizontal line to play off of. So for right now, we got a couple days until all of that happens. We are currently at a nice horizontal line for NQ. So again, just going to keep it simple here tomorrow and just play away from this daily 200. Right? It also happens to be at a great psychological level of 14,300, right? A nice psychological level there. Again, we have this daily 200, just looking for a move either away from it to the upside or away from it to the downside, right? At that point, looking for a retest, hopefully of it, or maybe VWAP at the moment, or the 5-minute 21, and then a continuation in that direction on the side of the daily 200, right? Whether it's downside or whether it's upside, the plan is the same, right? A move away from it, hopefully a retest of a significant level, and then a continuation. So also looking over here to the Ichimoku clouds, don't pay so much attention here to the Ichimoku cloud itself, but just the weekly candles here on this chart, right? This is a weekly chart. So we had a really nice bounce here at about this 14,600, right? Started to put in that lowercase h that we talk about all the time, but ultimately defended it. Had another nice little bounce, looking like a W was coming, but we did roll over here, feeling some resistance again before arriving at this trend line, and came back down to put in another little H, and this time flushing it. Right, so really significant level here that we've cracked below, and again looking to hold here at this daily 200 to try and reclaim it, but we could come down and see this key psychological level of 14,000. Right, not too far below here. So again, a couple levels to keep an eye on, right? Looking for a bounce here, possibly at this daily 200. If not, we break below and we come down and visit this 14,000. Throw my spaghetti at it here. And yeah, just pretty much those levels here that we're working with to the downside. And then again, just like ES, right, just looking to reclaim our major moving averages here to the upside. Alright. Ruddy. Small caps always here, taking the strongest beating of our major indices, typically already below that weekly Ichimoku cloud, really flushing here, just straight down here the past couple weeks for Ruddy, coming down to this key psychological level of 16,000. Also riding this third calendar channel to the downside already, right? And this is what, again, we might see ES and Q and possibly YM do once again. We already had a good rundown, try to make that nice recovery, and we're back down here again. And honestly, with all of this this whole situation in the Middle East, and obviously we are positioning ourselves to intervene, right? It might not look good here for the market for the rest of the year. So just something to keep in mind as we progress through the rest of the year. Of course, we trade mostly options and futures here. So I'm really just worried about the next leg most of the time, right? We trade short-term options here, typically same day, next day, same week, and next week, but always keeping the macro thesis in mind, right? But alright, YM down to this weekly Ichimoku cloud already and cracking into it here. Coming down to possibly test this key psychological level of 32,000. Keep an eye on that for sure. But we are cracking below here, not only this weekly squeeze, but a daily squeeze, right? Very significant here on this daily squeeze. So we could see this daily squeeze here fire to the downside on YM. Maybe we go down and visit that 32,000 key psychological level down here. But again, this could happen over a couple days, right? We're already deep into this third Keltner channel to the downside here on this daily Keltner chart I got right here. So, I don't expect a push to 32,000 to happen tomorrow or Tuesday, right? Again, could happen into Wednesday. Maybe they don't like the interest rate number that is given, and we work our way down here maybe by the end of the week. And then again to the upside, right? Just trying to reclaim all of our major moving averages that we are now below once again. The daily 8 exponential moving average right here in this teal or cyan color. The daily 15 simple moving average, and then I have in the same colors here but in a dashed level the weeklies of those same ones. So the weekly 8 exponential moving average. In gold here, the daily 50 or weekly 50 simple moving averages. And a big one here, the daily 200, of course. Well below that here on YM. So gotta be patient here early into the week, right? Again, could just see a lot of chop. Could see a lot of short-lived moves, right? Gonna not be greedy, especially here early in the week, because we just could see them do a lot of waiting and holding for that economic data drop on Wednesday, right? And then again, Apple earnings on Thursday, a big one. So let's jump into some names here. Apple, always looking to Apple here, right? Biggest name on the market, tends to kind of drag us around a little bit, right? Or typically, at least what we see, Apple definitely runs in tandem a lot with ES and NQ and just our markets in general. So always keeping an eye on what Apple is up to, because typically the market is doing something similar. So Apple here cracking under this daily 200 on Thursday, right? Wednesday in the after hours, and coming down here to a weekly squeeze bottom. And also a significant level here of 165. So again, want to see Apple hold here, just like we want to see NQ hold that daily 200 that it's at, right? If Apple can reclaim its daily 200 here above this key psych level of 170, that'll definitely help NQ hold up above its daily 200. Right, and again, a similar look here to Apple on this weekly chart, right? Don't mind the, Ichimoku cloud so much here, but just looking at these candles, right? We came down, held a significant level, tried to bounce back up, started to put in the H, flushed it a bit and held though, ultimately, got back above, but again, flushing below this level. So a very similar look here to NQ, trying to hold up on this weekly chart. Again, this 170, a very significant level here for Apple. A little bit below it here, but if we can reclaim this daily 200, it could hold up this entire market. And with Apple earnings on Thursday, definitely a good look here for Apple. Right, Apple typically doesn't miss on earnings, has had a couple shaky ones here in the last year or two, but coming off a very strong run of just not missing on earnings. But again, it is a tough environment right now, especially these past couple of years, so we will see what that looks like on Thursday afternoon. But again, we're going to probably be here near some significant levels when all of that drops, right? We're going to have some clear lines to play off. And again, just looking, for example here, to play on either side of this daily 200, right? We'll see what that looks like on Thursday. But again, under this daily 200, just going to play puts here on retest to the upside. If we can reclaim this daily 200, going to play calls here to the upside on the retests, right? Buying those dips. Take a quick look at some strikes here. See what closed at Beast. Some calls here closing at Beast, but dirt cheap, so not sure if they really give us any good information here, but let's see a little bit higher up. Gonna take a look at this one regardless, just because we have earnings on it this week. And since this is typically pretty cheap, I'll just take a look at this 175. And we'll take a look at like this 165 has pretty good volume on it. Oof, closed kind of pricey though. So let's see. Throw the call over here. Oh, I haven't updated my Beast actually. Let me update our tool here. So I got some fresh data. And we do got some fresh data, of course. All right, the 175 call, and I said the, oh, true, I forgot copied the tool. All right, and the 165 puts. Let's check these babies out. Both still well above Beast. Ooh, especially on this put here. Again, let's see where we're at here. Currently on Apple, 168. Okay, let's move down to the 160 put actually. It is the beginning of the week. These contracts are going to be pricey because it's an earnings week. So let's see. So for any of you watching this and are new to predicted trades here, right, or new to us, this is the main thing that we provide here at Predicted Trades, is this tool. All the levels you see here on this option contract, right, on this option chart, we provide here at Predicted Trades right at the open. All of these levels are generated all off of a single tool, a single indicator that we share to you, that is uploaded just how you saw me do a minute ago. And we provide that every single day, giving fresh levels every single day to your options charts as well as your equity charts. So let's just dive on in here. We definitely had some chop here on these contracts on Friday. Not surprised though, these did have a whole week still on Friday to expire. So they're going to move a little bit slower, right? But we're going to see them pick up this week for sure. But overall, you know, y'all know that I always stress this open level, right? And so on this 175 call here on Friday, really nice hold here above this open level for most of the session. A little dip below it here towards the middle, but reclaimed it and held it into close. So really like the look of these calls here, maybe going into this week, right? As always, ultimately looking to buy down here at our beast zone, right? This highlighted green zone below. So I wouldn't be surprised, of course, as we get closer here to expiration and this gets a little more volatile, right, that we're going to see a move down here to beast. What I would really like to see is maybe this happen into earnings and then we rip from here. Right, but until then, I really like how this contract looks here so far on Friday. So really wouldn't mind playing this even just off the open range buy zone up until the earnings, right? Maybe we can get some good positions here depending on where we open and where this level pops up, right? We can kind of just start paying this position for the week. Maybe come earnings, you've got a little position here already paid for and you can swing for the fences. Right, and with low stress, always just looking to pay for positions as we chop so that when it does finally break out, if it's in our favor, we can manage it with no stress, and if it's not in our favor, well, we can cut it and hopefully the position has already been paid for. So we'll see how that ends up looking here this week. The puts here definitely have to, definitely have a lot of space here to come back down to beast. So I really wouldn't be surprised to see maybe the calls get some love early in the week, bring these puts back down to earth, right? Our beast zone is way down here at 14 cents on this 160 call, for example, or a 160 put, I'm sorry. So we'll see, right? Still early into the week, and again, these contracts on Apple are definitely going to be pricey going into earnings. Not too crazy yet, just up here at a little under 50% for this IV. Not too much more than the weeks to come, as you can see here. But I won't be surprised if this starts to really crank up here as the week goes on. Alright, moving on. AMD. AMD, another one here. It's just been fighting at this 100 key psychological level, right? Had a nice run up with the market here to get back above and reach this 110, right? We've been chopping here, for a long time on AMD, near this 110, near this 105, slowly drifting down to this 100, and we seem to just be going with this trend here lower and lower. But again, looking to hold a couple key significant levels here, 90, 95, 100, right? And looking to get back above these moving averages. The daily 200 is not too far off here for AMD. So would really like to see AMD reclaim that right near this 100 as well, key psychological level. And just looking real quick at some contracts, not going to spend too much time on this one like on Apple. Nothing lighting up here on Beast in either direction either, so we'll move on here. Give AMD a little more time. Amazon just came off some very nice earnings, right? Little gap up here, getting us back up to this 130-ish, right? We've been fighting in this range for a long time here for Amazon. So definitely want to see Amazon hang on to this daily mean right here, right? We're very close to this 130 with this daily mean, giving us a nice little zone here between 128 and 130. So again, just always keeping it simple, right? Just looking for a nice level to put on some risk, right? Just looking for a horizontal line to play off of. So again, above this 130, right, above this little zone between 128 and 130, I'm looking to play some calls, right? Or quite simply, above this daily mean, I'm looking to play some calls. And again, we have some stops on the way up, right? Looking to trim at this daily 50 if we continue to the upside. And then, of course, up to this daily mean, right? By the time we get to this daily mean, definitely looking to unload the majority of an upside position and leave a couple runners in case it gets extra spicy. But then same thing to the downside, right? If we crack below this daily mean, right, and start to head lower, gonna look to trim at this 125 key psychological level, which will probably line up here near this daily 8 still. And then ultimately a move down to this daily mean below, and of course also a weekly mean down here. So some good levels here to the downside as well as possible targets, and then of course this daily 200 simple moving average here to the downside. So some really good targets here up and down for Amazon at a key significant level. I really like Amazon both ways here. Right, a lot of pain here on the market, but with that earnings, Amazon back up to a great point here at this daily mean. And we're starting to drip a little bit into this declining weekly Ichimoku cloud, right? But Amazon respected it here really well during the summer, right? Held above this shelf we had here on this weekly Ichimoku cloud. But now, as it is allowing it, it is going a little bit lower. But let's see again if we do end up reaching this weekly Ichimoku cloud, right? We have another nice shelf here through the end of the year. Let's see if we can hold it, right? Again, this could just be another bottom here for Amazon. Ultimately, we go higher. But with this earnings, right, looking pretty good. I want to assume Amazon can go higher here, but, it's going to take the whole market, right? Ultimately, with that good earnings, it could continue to hold up better in some downside. But is Amazon going to run by itself against the market to the upside? I just don't think so. So something to keep an eye on. Again, though, love Amazon both directions. Got some great targets up and down. And we've got contracts lighting up that beast on both sides. And let's see, the puts with a little bit better value. So again, I want to expect the puts to work here, let's say, better than the calls, right? But again, at a good point here for both. Not surprised to see contracts on both sides lighting up since we're at the daily mean. But again, just going to be patient here, right? I'm looking for a leg away from this daily mean, a retest of a significant level, and then we jump in from there to continue in that direction, right? We don't have to be the first ones in the move. Y'all hear me say it from time to time, you're right? You don't have to be the first one at the party. Let that keg drop, let that ice melt. We'll get a beer halfway through. And it'll be nice and cold. Alright, Google. Google. Definitely pulled a fast one on us here, right? Definitely expected Google to just keep cranking higher. Google had looked so good here. Even as the market was just totally taking a shit on us, right? Google just holding up like a champ just for them to pull the rug on us on really not so bad earnings, right? Had some really good numbers within those earnings. Ultimately, I think they just missed on cloud-based revenue, I think it was. Not exactly sure, but it was just one little thing. And they pulled the rug on old Google here. But again, market is first thing psychology, right? So on this strong run up, Of course, what do? Pull a fast one on us and sink this thing down to the bottom of these of this Keltner study, right? So of course, after some shaky earnings, right, if you can call this shaky earnings, typically like to leave a name alone for a couple weeks. But if we do get some downside here in the market in the next couple weeks, Google could just continue lower. Not too much room here to go lower on Google, unfortunately. So again, the moves could be more limited, honestly, in either direction here on Google. I would probably just leave Google alone. But if you do want to play Google, again, just keep it simple. We're down to this daily 200. Calls above, puts below. Don't overthink it. Meta. Zuck here, another one that was holding up really well, right? We were talking about Meta and Google every day, just going higher, holding up in such great downside. But another one here that ate some earnings and took a trip here to the downside. Nothing too crazy though, right? We've been talking about this 300 level here for a long time, right? Just trying to hold above this 300, trying to hold above this 300. Had a strong dip here to the downside, but had a nice recovery, right? Came back up and pretty much filled that gap right up to that 300 level. So even though I typically like to leave names alone after a not so hot earnings, Meta right back up here to this 300, right? And if we can reclaim this 300 and reclaim this daily mean, Zuck might just go right on up here with the market if we get a bounce. So keep an eye on Zuck here. We could get a nice little run back up if we do make a move above this 300. But again, tough here after these earnings. Don't be surprised if you play Meta and it goes nowhere. But we'll see. Right, might be worth buying some time on this if you do play options on this, or I did like Watch's move here early this week. I believe he said he bought some Meta commons at like 288 or something. A nice little dip buy if again Meta can hold here above 300, right? And if it just chops here at 300 for a couple weeks and then we start working our way back up to 330, some commons here at high 200s are looking pretty good. Moving on to Microsoft here. Another one getting rocked by earnings. Was looking pretty decent here, holding above the mean as the rest of the market was getting some downside here below the mean. But had a little spill here right up at this weekly squeeze top and coming back down to the mean. But again, like Zuck here, not a bad hold here at about this 330. I was definitely getting pretty concerned as we were getting down to this 310. Was calling out this 310 a lot as we were approaching it. But of course was very focused on this key psychological level of 300 as we were falling. But ultimately held that 310, had a nice little run up. Chopped for a while, so wasn't like super confident in Microsoft, but it was holding, right? We were doing a nice hold here while the market was dropping. But again, a shaky earnings to bring us back down. Let's just see if we can keep holding here. So again, like Zuck, I like where we're at again, even after that earnings, but I wouldn't be surprised if we just don't really go anywhere here on Microsoft. But again, if you're itching to play it, keep it simple. We've got a couple great moving averages here, right? This daily 21 exponential moving average, the daily mean, and the daily 50 here, simple moving average. So again, above these major moving averages, play some calls. Crack below, play some puts. Keep it simple, don't overthink it, right? Maybe buy some time since we just came off a shaky earnings. Netflix. Netflix trash for so long, and then boom, we get an earnings to bring this baby back to life. So again, just going to keep an eye on the overall market here to see which way it likely drags Netflix with it, right? We're above the mean here at 390, still trying to hang on to this key psychological level of 400 since the pop after earnings. We just have to keep a very close eye on this 400, right? I like that the mean is obviously moving up here. Let's see if we can hold both the mean and this key psychological level of 400, and we have this daily 50 right at 400 as well. So I like that, right? Gonna say the same thing I say all the time. Just looking for a nice horizontal level to play at. Above 400, play some calls. Below 400, play some puts. Jump in on the retests, right? Keep it simple. I'll take a quick look at some contracts here. See what lights up. Adding some 0.5ers here on us. Couple calls farther out, but pretty cheap here, especially for Netflix. So not going to pay too much attention to that. They have added some call strikes here to the upside. Maybe a couple here to the downside as well. But we have more data here to the downside. Less here on the call side. So I'm assuming these calls are newer. Maybe they expect here an upside move. And they want to make our lives harder here with extra contracts in between. So something to keep an eye on. So you might get a nice little upside move here out of Netflix. See if it can continue here after that earnings pop, right? Vidi giving us a little similar look here to what we were seeing here on NQ and like on Apple, some of our other bigger tech names trying to hold up. Right, an H here, came back, well I can't really call it an H since we got to a new high, but came back down, retested that base, and getting another little H here, right, and actually peaking below the base of this. So really, really critical level here for NVIDIA. Really need to hold this 400, or we could have us a decent little drop here, right, maybe down to, 300. Right, could be a decent little drop here for NVIDIA. I mean, you know, I know we did the pop pretty much in a day. Don't think we would do the drop in a day, but it could be some significant legs here to the downside under this 400. We do have some decent support here, right? Some lower time frame squeezes, a weekly squeeze. But definitely, again, a critical spot here for NVIDIA, right? My usual horizontal line here is this 400, right? They're telling you here, right? Telling you here. Above this 400, playing some calls. Below this 400, playing some puts. And honestly, I like it both ways, you know? We also have pretty much 100 points here on like that last leg up, right? Or that last stronger leg up. We did about 70 points here, right? 60 points maybe or so on that previous leg up. So really, you know, either way off of this 400 could give us a significant move. Which direction it is, no idea, right? No idea, and no one could tell you. But again, just keep it easy here. Keep it simple. Calls above 400, puts below 400. Let's check out these contracts. Okay, we have a couple calls lighting up here at Beast. Not near zero, so I definitely like that. Nothing here on the put side. Let's just take a quick look at that, right? And again, we have some significant data drops here this week. Big one for is going to be Apple, right? Apple's going to drag a lot of tech, most likely. So we could see a good move to the upside, right? We're sitting at about 405-ish. 30 points up is not that crazy. Nvidia's ATR here is about 16.5, right? An average day of work for Nvidia, 16.5 points. So really, you know, this is about 2 days of worth of work to get this to this 435. So at least here at the beginning of the week, not an unrealistic strike to play, right? At least early here in the week. Obviously, of course, as always, if you can afford it, get closer, right? As close as you can afford to get, those contracts are going to hold up better, right? You're going to be able to recover better after some drawbacks. Also, like this 420 call here, right? A lot of volume on this 420 call, but a little pricier, of course. But you know what? I do like this price of Beast, right? This is ultimately where I'm trying to buy it, is in this range. So you know what, let's take a look at this 420 call first. And not too far off from it, right? Just on Friday we dropped from about over $7. $7 down to about $3, right? So $3 or $4 down to about $2 or $1.05 is really not that heavy of an ask, maybe even on Monday. Right, again, we were looking at some other names and maybe expecting a little bounce first before maybe going lower later into the week, right? We could see that happen here, right? Or the dip maybe before ripping on a good interest number here on Wednesday could get these calls down to Beast here towards the middle of the week, right? Again, I'm going to wait to buy this contract until it hits our Beast zone here at about $1.05. But up until then, right, we'll have this open range buy zone to play with. You know, if we open up here at about $4, $3.50, likely this open range buy zone will be down here at about 2.5, maybe $2, right? Maybe just above our Beast zone. So I wouldn't mind buying this here at about 2.5. Early into the week, maybe we work our way down to this 1.5 later into the week or so. All right. Q's gonna quickly go through this one and just look at contracts, right? Same setup here as our major futures indices, right? And of course as NQ, breaking below this level here, this base that we've been talking about here the last couple of weeks, and of course deep into this third Kellner channel to the downside, right? Ultimately have this target here of the daily 200 to the downside here at about 340, a key psychological level. And we're kind of sitting here at about 345, and we have a key psych level above here at 350. So really like where we're sitting here, really like this in both directions. Let's just look here at some contracts. And we can look at contracts for tomorrow as opposed as to the end of the week, right? These contracts on SPY and QQQ can maybe give us a better idea of what's to come here tomorrow early in the session. So that being said, we do have this 350 call right at Beast here. Some significant volume on this 350 call as well. We do have some puts here at Beast, but a little bit farther out. So let's look at both of those strikes that we were talking about. Again, looking at a nice tight psychological range here. 5 points up, 5 points down. The 340 put will get us down to this daily 200, and the 350 call gets us, well, to this key psychological level of 350. Okay, so a little crack under Beast here. Let's look at this put as well. 340. Ho, 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 baby. All right. So this 350 call right at Beast, right? And this 340 put a little bit above. So wouldn't be surprised to see these calls here start to pop, right, and maybe bring these puts back down to beast. This 350 call here, a little bit under beast, did hold up right at our open range buy zone. This time our open range buy zone is below our beast zone, but gave us that support there. Again, maybe a little bit of a gap up here, maybe before the open, would allow this 350 call to open right at beast and then maybe work immediately out the gate. And looking to this put side, right, this push for the calls would then bring these puts here back down to our beast zone. Of course, you guys know that I like to play a little bit tighter here than 5 points away from at the money. But just looking for some information here, right? Especially at key psychological levels like 340 and 350. But ultimately, you know, I will play about 2 and 3 points up and down for same day expiration. But I will be very interested in these as well to play for the next day, because likely that is what I'm going to play. So let's take a look at the 31st on these, and ooh, that call looks even better here for the 31st. So I really like this 350 call here for Tuesday. I will probably have these up at open here tomorrow while we are streaming together. And I'm going to really like this down here near this 70 cents or so. Right, a couple of these, maybe we make a run back up to $2. That would be great. So really like this 350 call, whether it's tomorrow or whether it's Tuesday, both looking like some really good strikes. Let's jump back to the chain here, pop open Tuesdays as well. And yep, we got a couple of calls here at beast and nothing here on the put side. So all right. Liking those calls here for early tomorrow. And SPY. So again, a similar setup here to ES, of course, right? Just looking to reclaim these daily moving averages, looking for the bounce here in this third counter to the downside. Again, doesn't mean it has to happen tomorrow. Could see this happen for days, right? This is very possible. But again, not going to overthink it, just going to play what's in front of me. And ooh, getting near this weekly Ichimoku cloud here. Right, saw the same thing on ES. So let's just take a look at some contracts. Again, we'll look at tomorrow and Tuesday. Let me tighten this up a little bit here. And again, no puts here at beast, and we're getting some calls here at beast. So really like to see this. Right, SPY closed here at about 410. So again, you know, I want to be closer than 415, especially for same day, but I like 415 for Tuesday. Let's check out this 415 for Tuesday. Our tool didn't pick up the 415 for Tuesday. That's okay. Let's look at tomorrow. No, not tomorrow either. Dang. That's alright. It's kind of far out anyways. Oh, but yeah, we are missing some data here on Beast. So we'll see. Maybe we'll get those numbers here in the morning. Wouldn't be surprised as we do move into these strikes and they get some more volume, right? We just had a nice little drop here. So we just have some calls coming into play that haven't really been in play the last couple days. So our tool here will just gather more data as the sessions go on, and we'll get those numbers and those levels generated for us during the sessions. But again, you know, looking at a similar setup as QQQ, right? Again, you know, Our tool here is not picking it up, but we can see here on the chain, right, that we have a ton of calls here, or a few calls at least, here at Beast and none on the put side. So just looking to see if these calls are going to make that move off of their Beast levels. And alright, last name here, Tesla, and I'll let you all go. Tesla again beat up here after earnings, down to this third Keltner channel to the downside, right? Some really tough levels here for Tesla, but we've got some tight squeezes as we can see here with our lower time frame squeeze clouds, right? Getting super tight here on this 30-minute, this 1 hour, 2 hour, yep. Got a 4 hour right here, and of course a weekly. So definitely looking for Tesla to hold here above this 200 key psychological level. Right, 200 has been a massive level here for Tesla. Got near it here on this weekly chart, right? Had a nice bounce before even getting to that 210, but we're down here near it again at this 200. So let's see if we can hold here. We do have a nice shelf coming up here for this weekly Ichimoku cloud. Let's see if we can hold here near this 208. Already trying to do it, right, as we enter this nice shelf here on this Ichimoku cloud. So let's see. Would like to see a run up here to reclaim this daily 200 and see Tesla get back to its usual business. But of course, this is Tesla, right? Just give it a little bit of a break if she needs it, and she will be right back in action, as she always does. But alright, y'all, that's all I've got for y'all this week. Again, just looking here real quick review. Looking to Apple earnings on Thursday. Is a big one. AMD here Tuesday after the close is a big one as well. Caterpillar for those who trade that, and Roku of course here. PayPal on Wednesday. A couple things to look at, but major event this week is definitely this interest rate decision we're going to get here Wednesday during the session, right? This is 2 p.m. Eastern time. And then we're going to have Powell come out and really spice it up for us, as he loves to do, shortly after that drop. Right, so definitely keep a close eye on this week. And yeah, that's all I got for y'all. So I hope everyone here has a great rest of your Sunday. I again will be back here on YouTube tomorrow morning for the open. So stay tuned for that. And as always, if you are new to us to Predicted Trades here, you can join our Discord for free in the description of this video. We have a link there for you to join. As soon as you join, we provide a ton of great market education here for free. I'll just give you a quick little rundown of it here. As soon as you join, this entire education section here is available to you for free. Got a nice psych channel, right? Y'all hear me focus a lot on psychology here. Book recommendations, we got a lot of intro lessons if you're new to options or just trading in general. I got a lot of little YouTube videos here lined up that will definitely help you go forward here in your journey, and quickly as well. I also go through a lot of internals here that we talk about while we're trading, things like VIX, tick, ADD. If you're not familiar with those, would definitely recommend you getting familiar with those, and some of the tools I talked about here today as well. Just reading the option chain, for example. Got a lot of good breakdowns on a lot of this stuff. And as always, you don't have to have a subscription to us to also get some more value out of us, right? We also provide here under Professor's Indicators, you can buy some of the tools here that you've seen today for a one-time fee, and then they are yours forever, right? So here for $100 we sell, for example, these squeeze clouds, right? Squeeze clouds I've been showing here, and also these multi-time frame moving averages. So for example, this is the daily 200 simple moving average, but I'm on a 30-minute chart, right? And anything or any time frame I move to, right, that daily 200 is going to automatically generate itself there. So for example, when I'm trading live, right, I don't ever have to mark this level on my chart, right? It just lives on my chart. I just know where the daily 200 is at all times, or the daily 8 exponential moving average. And again, these squeeze clouds, right? Bunch of different multi-time frame squeeze clouds here. Again, you see me point out, a 30-minute, a 1 hour, a weekly. But again, I am on a 30-minute chart, right? So I'm able to pull information from other time frame charts here onto my one chart, so I can see it all at the same time, right? I can see the range that we're playing in with all of these squeeze clouds. So that's just a couple of our fan favorites within this tool pack, but again, you can see the list here. We have a bunch of different tools provided with just $100 here. And again, you don't need a subscription for this. Another popular one here is point of control. We also provide here this column for point of control. Generates that number for you for whatever name you have in your watch list, and then you can create the drawing directly on your chart. But alright, y'all, much love. Again, I will be streaming tomorrow morning at the Open, and I hope to see you all there. Alright? Have a great Sunday, y'all, and I will catch y'all later.